I also don't accept the analysis that people's dissatisfaction with Elon Musk doesn't hurt Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is Donald Trump. This is Donald Trump 2.0. Elon and Donald, Donald and Elon, shuffling around a place where world leaders have visited this country, selling $35,000 cars to benefit the world's richest man. Literally reading a note card with the same sentence on it that's on the Tesla homepage. Like, they're not even trying to make it sound remotely different from what is on the Tesla website. I want to ask you about Musk's unpopularity before we get to the broader picture of this plan to dismantle the Department of Education.
I think that's a fair point, too. I mean, they are sort of two peas in a pod. And they made it very clear that there's alignment. And as Teddy was noting in the beginning, that the contribution wasn't to his own PAC, it was to President Trump's. It was President Trump's political operation. And that is a reflection, in many ways, of a further integration and alignment. So they're not just arm in arm publicly. They're not just operating in sync. They're aligning their political operations as well. And that means that they kind of rise and fall together. And that's why when, as you noted in the intro, when Musk's unpopularity started to have some consequences for him, Trump had to step in and engage in some way. In this case, it seemed to be to give the stock and a company a profile boost. But it's a reflection of the fact that they are tethered together. The real question, though, is whether or not when the rubber meets the road, when more and more people are directly affected by those harms, are they able to connect those harms back to the actions that Trump and Musk are taking? Or are they going to ultimately succumb to disinformation, misinformation, false narratives, and blame somebody else? And I think something that Speaker Johnson said recently at an event is illustrative. He was talking about Elon Musk and not just his financial contributions. In fact, he wasn't talking about that at all. He was talking about his influence in the larger right-wing media echo chamber and his power to push misinformation out there and to drive stories. And that's a reflection of where it is. What he was really speaking to was the right-wing media, that they can distort, even amongst his own members. The right-wing media has the potential to create political problems for him. So that's the real question, and the answer to your question as to whether or not Trump would be unpopular as a result of Musk, if that's going to transfer over.
Well, let me do two things. I have that sound from Speaker Johnson. Let me play that for you first.
I think of it metaphorically. I get up every morning and I have this giant sort of control panel. And it's got 219 dials on it. And I got to make sure everybody's, okay, this one's, and then I got the President Trump dial. And now I have the Elon dial, okay? Because Elon has the largest platform in the world, literally, and if he goes on and says something that's misunderstood or misinterpreted about something we're doing, he can blow the whole thing up. So I spend a lot of time working with all these dials and all these folks, and I just run around all day and make sure everybody's happy.
We are so far from the men and women whose entire careers are funded by the American taxpayer, even pretending to do anything for them, or their disabled kids, or their aging parents, or their promise from a nation they served in the military. We are now at a guy who's afraid of a mean tweet and says so.
And I think that, to me, is significant when you think about the harms here, because when you talked about the Department of Education, sometimes it's hard to put a number on or a face to these numbers, but these cuts are not just the employees. Project 2025 goes beyond just layoffing staff. It's dismantling programs as well. When they dismantle Title I, 180,000 teachers are going to lose their jobs. 180,000. When they start to reduce the Head Start, even if they just do most of what Project 2025 says with respect to a Head Start, 800,000 toddlers and preschoolers are going to lose the education that they're currently getting access to. Those are real people, real numbers, and a whole lot of Trump supporters.
Teddy, let me show you how unpopular Elon Musk is. And I don't know if he was popular in his pre-political life, but he's a very polarizing figure in American politics. 61% of Americans don't think Elon Musk has the right judgment for the role he currently occupies. 62% of Americans don't think he has the right experience for the role. So he doesn't have the judgment or the experience based on current polling. 62% think his cuts are going to go too far, the way he's cutting government indiscriminately, and his overall favorability is upside down by 20 points. Was he popular before he entered the political arena?
He's had a very segregated, or not segregated, his popularity has been very differentiated based on gender. Musk, for a long time, was very, very popular with men. And that trend has only gotten more and more so as he's gotten more and more involved in right-wing politics. Musk, you might forget, for people who buying a Tesla today, Tesla ownership used to be seen as this kind of latte liberal California weird environmentalist thing, right? I mean, so, if we're going way back, he was a politically popular figure with the left. And now, he is obviously been embraced by the right. It makes you wonder kind of what it's going to mean to own a Tesla in 5 years. Is that going to signal something about your politics that is dramatically different than it means about someone owning a Tesla 15 years ago when this company was just getting started? But he's a figure who occupies a unique position in public opinion. He's very famous in a way that he wasn't even really 10 years ago. I mean, I think all of us have known who Elon Musk is as one of those kind of major tech executives. But now he's this figure that Mike Johnson needs to kind of keep on the control board a separate dial for. So his awareness in the public conscience has gone way, way up, and he's become this figure who's so uniquely tied to masculinity and to the right. It's such a sharp diversion from where he was even 5 years ago.
Charlie, I don't know what to say. Men like him. Explain that.
Well, look, I'm the wrong person to ask about, people who like Elon Musk, but I'm really glad that you played the soundbite from Speaker Johnson, because I am old enough to remember when the Speaker of the House of Representatives was an important position, could sit across the table from the President of the United States as the leader of a co-equal branch of government. And one of the things that we've been watching is the way that Republicans in the House have been voluntarily surrendering their power to Elon Musk and to Donald Trump, turning themselves into potted plants. And there you have Mike Johnson talking about spinning the dials when he wakes up, finding ways to keep everyone happy. And obviously Elon Musk now, he puts him in the same category as the President of the United States and the 219 Republican members of the House of Representatives. One of the ongoing stories is the way that the Congress of the United States has basically just taken a knee to this shift of power, not just to the White House, but to the oligarchs like Elon Musk. And that, again, is something that the founding fathers never envisioned. They never envisioned that the leaders of Congress would not be jealous of their own power and would just basically give it up. And you've seen this in the continuing resolution, and you see it in Speaker Johnson's references to Elon Musk, the co-president.